Passion, drive, and patience. The formula of winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything for you to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED lights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has it covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices that you want. It's easy to make your car the MVP it needs to be and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Again, ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
All right.
Like
let me get 2 seconds here. All right.
2 seconds.
We're gonna do like
is
the
what he
director.
needs.
We're gonna do the director. All right, ready? Action. What's up, everybody? Back here on Tiggs Bits this week. Bubba exclusive Tiggs Bit podcast coming at you. The first of the show was so lunatic, we can't even let y'all hear it. You have to go to Patreon to hear that. So I don't even know what will Tiggs. You'll have whenever you come up for air, you can figure out what you're gonna name that little baby gremlin that we just released for Patreon before we started recording this. So y'all make sure to check that out. But anyway, glad to be back here again. Everybody take a deep breath. This is gonna be a good podcast. We're glad everybody's listening again. I feel like Robert De Niro outside a courthouse right now. I don't know what's going on. I'm getting wound up. Watch out.
Fired up.
We're getting tired up. I'll tell you what I'll
God.
do. Whip your ass. That's what's listening to happen here. We're getting fucking angry. I mean, it's crazy. I'm sorry that F-bomb there. But it's funny, though. I think I said this. This is probably included, but I got to say it again. I still find it hilarious how I'm like, okay, we got to really talk some business here for a minute. And JR his head just drops straight down. And he starts working on show notes. And I'm like, well, I guess he just trusts us completely here to figure this out. And he looked up and says,
a good thing.
What was this podcast? Like, unbelievable. So good. So crazy. It's just, hey,
wait, are we
kind of what happens?
Are we recording?
Oh, man.
What's going on here? Are we doing a show or y'all going to keep talking about this jibber jabber stuff y'all talking about?
Jibber jabber.
Like.
Yeah, we're doing a
Business,
show,
money.
here to do
Who
two
cares
things.
about all that?
I came here to do two things: drink a few beers, or three things: drink a few beers, talk with my buddies, and cut a podcast. I'm doing two. Let's get that third one on.
Let's get it going. Let's get it going.
Let's do that.
Well, Placey, dude, we got to say, first of all, doesn't seem as if you've had the most wonderful Wednesday. This is being recorded on Wednesday. Y'all will be listening to it on Friday. It's not that big of a distance. But what the hell has happened today? You've had some car issues. Tell us about it.
Man, no. So, you know, it's funny. So I had this morning, I had an appointment over in Fort Walton Beach. All right. So my front fender, somebody apparently, like I'm going to assume the best, and I hope it's not the worst, but somebody on my front fender, my Hyundai Palisade, the front fender, dude, it's like, I hate to say it looks like a foot kicked it. You know what I mean? Like it is a shot. Now, what I'm thinking somebody happened is somebody tripped on a curb, went in, their arm or shoulder went into it. That's what I'm hoping, because I'm like, I don't have any enemies. I don't think, or either almost like these guys in New York City hitting people and punching people randomly. It was like, was that what it is? Like, I don't know. It's just, dude, it's a pretty good dent. It was right on the crease. There's a little crease, perfect, like supposed to be there form, but they kicked it right in that crease, around the fender. So it ended up being like a foot and a half area dent. So I found this company over there in Fort Walton Beach, and it's called, Dent Fix
We'll
or
bleep
something.
that out. Beep.
There we go.
We don't give them no love till they do a good job.
They ain't done a good job, and they ain't paying us. Beep.
Time out. Yeah, y'all are getting way ahead of me on this. But I'm going a little slow.
I'm just dragging
on
off Tiggs in there. Tiggs ready to punch through a brick wall. I'm just trying to take some of
fired
that
up tonight, boys.
At least you don't mind.
Again.
Fired up!
So, but anyway, I went over there. I got a quote. Instead of getting it painted, getting the whole fender and doing all this stuff, this guy can beat dents out. He's like a dent magician.
Oh.
Had really good reviews. And I was like, you know what? I'll give him $400 to get this thing looking. He claims he can make it look like it did before. I was like,
do the hot water,
buddy.
pour the hot water trick like on TikTok or something?
I don't know what all he does. He's got a full shop. It ain't like just some dude sitting in, outside of a Walmart in the parking lot. Yeah, no. It's a real deal. And so, dude, I get there and I drop off the car. But the problem is Fort Walton's 50 minutes away. And it's like, well, I drop it off. He said it's going to take most of the day. I was like, what am I going to do? Well, I was like, I can't ask somebody to come here and pick me up, drive me back 50 minutes, right? And then 6 hours later, hey, can you drive me back over there? And then drive me. I'm going to ask him to spend 4 hours of their day driving me around. So, you know what?
Right.
I was committed to Fort Walton for the day. And I was like, I'm here. Now, what's cool is Taco Town is one of my favorite, taco places. It's been there forever. It's just a staple. I actually did a little review thing there. I'll give that to y'all later. But, dude, their taco salads, I mean, nothing's greasy. It's just perfect. You get in line, you order, and it's all American-ran people. And, dude, it's just money, though. And it's so cheap. Like, you get a taco salad for $5.69 and get a drink. I'm $9 out the door. And you sit down and eat and salsa, and they come up. You okay? The lady's in the back. She's making the fresh shells. This place is absolutely second to none. I love it. So I was excited about that. Problem was, this was literally it opens at 10. I was standing at the door of Taco Town at 10. And I walk in, I eat, I'm excited. By 10:40. I'm like, okay, what do I do now? That fun just ran out. It ain't gonna be ready till 4 o'clock. Is what he said, 4:30. I was like, what am I gonna do?
Did they have Wi-Fi?
They did have Wi-Fi, and I did some Wi-Fi. But you know what I mean? At some point, you got to leave. You know what I mean? It's like I'm kind of done with the scene. I stretched it out to about 11. She actually thought I was leaving. I was going back to get more drinks. She's like, have a good day. I hope you enjoyed it. And I was like, well, I ain't quite leaving yet. I'm just getting another drink. But I have enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
I'll be loitering just a little while longer, man.
Just a little bit longer. I got to stretch this day out. We had a long day in Fort Walton. And I'm at Racetrack Road.
Longer, like a damn Jackson Brown song.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I did. So, but then I had to make a move.
Song of this show.
Just a little bit longer. So, dude, I had no mission, but I left there and I started walking. And I was like, well, I could have got an Uber, but I had no destination. You know what I mean? I was like, what do I do? Get an Uber to just somewhere? I don't even know where to go,
Time to pull up Yelp.
That's a comedy bit. Somebody needs to let their buddy that works clubs rip that off and make something out of that. There's a comedy bit there somewhere. That's probably already one, but that's a good one, Lacey. I want to go somewhere that don't have a destination. Where am I going to call an Uber to take me just, I don't know where I'm going. Ride me around.
Anywhere.
I have no idea. It's
Three Bridge Road.
It's 10:50 in the morning. What am I going? You gonna go to a bar and start drinking? No. You know what I mean? What do you do?
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, where do I go? And I don't want to go this way. I know this way's better. I'll head this way. You know what I mean? I just started walking, and then as I started walking,
this way looks better than that way. Let's try that first.
I just got through eating a giant pile of these damn Nacho Supreme, right? So luckily there was a Publix on my right. I was like, that's what I need right now. So anyway, I had to go visit the restroom there for a minute. After we got reorganized, now I'm good to go again, and I just kept walking. So I'm in Fort Walton Beach, and I'm heading
It's 11:17 a.m. now.
Yes. At the most.
It's like waiting on Christmas when you're 7.
And I thought, you know what? There's this brand new waiting on Christmas when you're 7. That's good. It really was. And so, dude, I knew there was this Newtown Place suites they just built next to the bridge. And I was like, I'm heading to the bridge. But I forgot there's 2 bridges. There's one back to the north, one back to the south. I started heading south. And I'm excited. I walked probably a mile. Here comes the bridge into sight. I see it. 1.5 miles, maybe 2. I ended up walking 9 miles today. It was insane. So I got to the bridge, got up on top of the bridge, and there was a guy fishing. And I started talking with him. Caught anything? No, I ain't caught anything today. There's some guys out in the water fishing. From him, looking at them. And then I get over the hump of the bridge, and I realize I'm at the wrong bridge. There's no Town Place Marriott. That thing was back to the north, which was now at this point over 2 miles back behind me. I was like, yeah, I'm in the wrong place. I got to keep going, because I was just going to go there and kind of hang out, because I've always stayed at Marriott. So I can just hang out in the lobby, wait for them to call and text me. I'll just chill there for the day. It's on the water. There's a gas station.
That's what I was going to mention when you said about going to the Publix. It's like, man, hotel lobbies, clutch. Just go in there, act like you've been there, especially if you've got membership number. That
was it. I'm a lifetime titanium elite member or whatever. Red carpet would enroll out. Hang out all you want to, sir. No, I'd gone the wrong direction. Now I'm pot committed. Now I'm heading south. The only thing south now is downtown Fort Walton Beach. I was like, well, I guess I'm heading to downtown. I mean, that's another 3 or 4 miles.
Get an airbrush hat and a tattoo on my lower back while I'm here.
Dude, that was it. I mean, so I'm walking, but it hit me. as I'm walking, because I'm heading, there's Uptown Station on the left. They used to have some stuff in there. Maybe I can pull in there, get there. I'm like, there's nothing there. What am I going to do? There's nothing in there. I don't want to go in there. And I'm stopping periodically, sitting on benches, because now the sun's out a little bit. Now I had this hat on, but I was carrying it because I didn't want to get a sweat ring on this hat, right?
Understood.
And to that point, I shouldn't have said that, because I want to tell you something, but I can't. I
Keep
had
moving forward.
I had an epiphany today. I had an epiphany during this walk. During this walk, I continued to drive south, and by walking, I mean driving and walking. But dude, I had an epiphany. I got an idea. I have an idea that it's going to be in everybody's household, just like duct tape is in your household. And I'm getting ready to. I came up with the idea. I came up with how I do it. I came up with what I'm going to do, what I'm going to call it, and how I'm going to package it, and how I'm going to start selling it. Unbelievable.
Okay.
This walk
right.
was so productive today.
Does it include cleaning a hat sweat ring off of a hat?
It includes avoiding that. So that's all I'll say. I'm going to move on.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well,
I'm
intrigued.
so
personally.
excited. And I continued to carry my hat in my hand. I came in hat in hand, literally. And so I'm walking, and it hit me. There's an Indian temple mound in Fort Walton Beach that I knew about. I've seen it. I drive by it all the time. It's this elevated mound, like a pyramid, flat top, with a temple on top of it. And I was like, I've never been there. I'm fixing to walk to that place, and I'm going to check it out. And there's a museum there and everything, and I go there. Oh, my God, I'm pouring sweat when I get there, and because that last mile got really hot.
Hearing you talk about it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, miserable.
It was tough. And so I get in there. It is so ice cold in there. I pay my $5 for the museum tour, and I go, or just to go through the thing, and I go sit inside. There's chairs in there, and I go sit, and I just cool down, set my hat to the side, cool down, relax, start looking, after I get regrouped, I walk around, look at all the artifacts. You should see the artifacts in here, JR. All these artifacts, they did some digs. They've done like 9 different digs at this mound that was, hey, listen, this place was actually started in 700 AD, and it was built by this is prehistoric times when Native Americans had they had no names. There's nothing. They didn't leave any inscriptions. They just did what they did, and this is who they are. They don't belong to any tribe, and they built these mounds.
Unless the aliens took their scribes. Let's don't forget the obvious here.
There it is, and hey, there's something to that too. And I want to dig into this later. But dude, so I cool down. I'm checking all the artifacts out, all the arrowheads, all the pottery, all the fire starting stuff. You can actually play with the bows and do the fire starting stuff. You could do that. I mean, I was having a blast. I was like a kid in there, and there was nobody there hardly at all. And once you pay the $5, you never have to pay again. You put that receipt in your phone, and you can show up to them the rest of your life, and you never have to pay to go back there. It's
that doesn't.
Isn't that crazy?
Like
never
a good
gave
way
you
for them
one.
to make money. Why? How are they? That's not profitable at all. It's only $5 to join our Patreon, Blasey.
Well, they just want people to come back.
But you got to pay it every damn month if you want the
They just want people
shit.
to come back. They didn't know Blasey was going to show up every day for the rest of his life.
He'll be He's
I'm
going to do a
definitely going
podcast
Friday.
live from there.
Yes, they don't understand what they created
He's
here.
moving in. Blasey thinks he just got a free place to live when
Give
he has
him
to
an
get his
inch,
car
it'll
worked
take a
on.
mile.
Oh, I do. They should. I mean, it immediately hit me. I said, I'm getting content in this joint. You know what I mean? It's open, wide open, $5. I got full content access here. So yeah, I cruised.
It's already up. JR hadn't seen it yet. It's up. Go check it out.
X.
It's on
X.
It's on X. Check out Blasey, SRB Trojan, and our Tiggs Bits podcast. It's up. It's up either place.
Check it out, dude. Yeah, so I'll speed this up a little bit. I'm dragging this out, but I cruised through the damn museum, check all this stuff out. Now I've cooled down enough so I'm not pouring sweat, so I know I'm ready to do some content. You know what I mean? And I go up the stairs, up to the top of the mound, and sit there and check this whole place out. Again, this thing's 700 AD. It was built, and they put it there, JR, because you had freshwater access, and then they had this ramp that came off the mound where downtown is now and goes towards the Gulf, and they could get seafood. And they were one of the few tribes at that time that lived primarily off of seafood, which they found to be really unusual, during that time period, one of the only mounds in the country that would be set up this way. And so, dude, this thing's like 220 by 230 feet. Every side faces perfectly north, south, east, and west. 700 AD, dude. They knew this. How do they know this? They didn't have
They were
compasses
smart.
back then, did they?
Super
That's
smart. Yep.
crazy.
Ancient civilizations, the ancient aliens taught them.
And there's something about the whole magnetic energy of the way they set this thing up. It's on like a magnet field line. It's also set up. I mean, it's like it's so mind blowing. I don't know, and I want to really dig into that somehow. There's just a small piece of that. It's written there to tell you about it, And I was like, I need to know more about that. It's one sentence. So anyway, a crazy day, a day that started off going to get a dent repair, turned into a really cool experience there at the mound. A long walk to get there. And the cool thing, I got done there. There's a brand new brewery they just built there in Fort Walton Beach. I went. They even had a pickleball court there. Went and had one beer there while I ordered my Ubered my way back, got my car, was pleased with my car. Those guys did a fantastic job. And anyway, so here I am. So that was my Wednesday. It was filled with a lot of walking. But a cool experience, man. I learned
it was
something.
That's a good story. That's an interesting story. Another onion is something that we can peel the layers back on and dive a little bit deeper. Sounds like maybe you need to inform our friend Bowser about some of your findings today.
Bowser's MIA. We can't find Bowser. He's gone missing. Like he's not. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. We're
remember when he was here when all the lights was in the Northern Lights and all that. And guess where he ain't no more. And guess what ain't here no more. Imagine that.
He left with them, didn't he?
He left with them. Had an eclipse and some weird lights, and we ain't seen Bowser since. Imagine
Bowser's been out. He
made one podcast appearance. It brought a spreadsheet, explained everything in just a beautiful summary.
Yep.
And if y'all haven't seen that, check it out on our YouTube page. It's on there.
He'll be back. I'm not sure. I think the NBA Finals may have not gone very well for him from a financial perspective. That's just a guess. I don't know. I'm lining up with that versus him getting extracted. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know why he's not here, but I just hadn't been able to get up with him lately.
Extracted.
He probably was.
Or he left on his own accord, because I'm not convinced that dude isn't an alien.
Exactly.
That's true. That's true. Hey, one more thing, JR, I want to tell you about. Brantley's already seen it. That Indian mound back in 2004 when Ivan came, I went over. So at the time, Don Gates, you heard of Matt Gates, the senator, Matt Gates,
the Congress, whatever.
Yes. So his dad was Don Gates. Don Gates was good friends with a good friend of mine at the time, his dad. And during Ivan, right behind the Indian mound, literally right behind it, is the superintendent, Okaloosa County School Board office. And they just put this new roof on there. It's a 200-mile-an-hour roof. So we went over there. I spent the night in Don Gates' office, and we stayed there that night, hunkered down right behind that Indian temple mound. And it protected us from Ivan. I would get out and walk out and go around the corner of that mound. And that mound was probably, 18, 20 feet tall. It's 220 feet wide, almost the size of a football field right there in the middle of Fort Walton. And, dude, it was just, wow. I mean, just hammering. You get back behind the mound and chill. So that mound one night saved our life as we rode a hurricane out. But I'd never been there until today.
Yeah. You told us about that. Speaking of craziness with Jeff Petrowski, we've had him on the show before in the past. If you guys don't know who the hell Jeff Petrowski is, go just do a dive. Go find him on X. He has things on YouTube and stuff like that too. He's just an
big time storm chaser. Big time storm chaser. Gets right in the middle of all of it. Yeah.
And we have accepted a trip. We're going to do a show with him.
Now, Tiggs and Blasey are going on a trip with the weatherman, crazy weatherman.
The handler.
No, this is gonna be so exciting for everyone.
Hey,
especially Tiggs and Blasey.
Tiggs and Blasey are gonna have a blast with Jeff and his mobile Helen Hunt.
He's got a Cybertruck, man.
He's got a Cybertruck now.
I feel we get to number one going a Cybertruck.
Yeah,
and I feel comfortable in a Cybertruck. Yeah. Never been in one, but I feel good about it.
Roadshow. I feel very comfortable with him.
Hey,
it's gonna be good.
Speaking of other invites, and I'm gonna get this out here because this show is gonna be all over the place. But your Tiggs is gonna go throw out the first pitch at the Baton Rouge Rougarou game.
I am. It looks like that is
got
going
an
to
invite.
happen.
Congrats on the invite. Game recognizes game. The talented squad like that wants to call up one of their own. They know he has the golden arm to go with the golden locks. He's going to come in and rock and stop. John Rocker ain't got nothing on Tig Nasty. I'm excited about this. Blasey, that's something we're going to have to, and Tiggs, we're going to have to make sure Riley is on his game for junior correspondent that day and night. Because we got
to get great footage of that.
I told him about it today, and he was just like, he was jacked, and I was like, he said, "Can I come?" I was like, "Of course you can come, Riley. You're the camera guy. You got to film this deal, man.
Games are over, kid."
And then I told him, I was like, I think we're probably going to need to start chunking the baseball a little bit.
You dang right you
exactly. That's what I was thinking. You're also going to have to make sure Dad's 2 or 3 cold beers are good and cool before y'all get up there and make sure you get that arm loose. We got to all that prep work. Have you a towel
not coming in to throw
done,
heat. I just want to get it across the plate.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you something.
It ain't got to be hard and heavy.
Dude, you practice a little bit, Tiggs. All you got to do is put your mind to it. Practice a little bit. You come up with something nasty, something cool looking. Yeah, I'll do something awesome, dude. That'll be so cool. Do it. You got to do it.
I would advise you to go back and look at George W. Bush. I don't care if you're a Republican, Democrat, whatever you are. Go back and look at after 9/11. Watch him throw that pitch, dude. That's one of the best first pitches I've ever seen. Perfect. He threw it, but it was just tailed off in there like, this is my mound. Watch this. Bam. Take ownership of that thing a little bit. Don't go up there and handsy it around.
And that was direct. And that was that was the first game after 9/11 too, right?
Yes, it was. And dude,
America.
Right,
America. I mean, what else can you say? America,
awesome.
Baby.
I mean, between that, I don't care. Like I said, I don't care what you think about him, man. Between that and that NASCAR race, when he started the Daytona 500, he walked in there and he said, "Gentlemen, start your engines." I was like, I had never heard it even phrased that way. I was like, that's the way it should be said. He was good at that stuff. He was great at that stuff.
He was. He was pretty funny and all that. I mean, I think that's the thing with
Katrina. I think besides that, I thought
he did not do well with Katrina at all.
There's other issues. I get and understand.
Look, hey,
there always is with all.
That's a good point. I over the weekend, this past weekend, I got to go to the Louisiana Political Hall of Fame with my dad. My dad has been inducted into the Louisiana Political Hall of Fame over the years. He was Speaker of the House during those years, during the Katrina years, when Governor Kathleen Blanco was the governor of Louisiana. Controversial figures, both on all sides, I guess you could say. But, yeah, it was not handled correctly in the state of Louisiana from the federal point of view. But, unprecedented.
But neither did Ray Nagin. Neither did nobody. Everybody.
A lot of breakdowns.
Tons of breakdowns. A lot of points.
That's probably in my life. That one stings as much as anything right there. That's something that we had some control over. 9/11 was obviously the most devastating thing I've ever had to witness as an American. But the Katrina thing, being close to home and being right there and seeing it firsthand, it was like, man, we dropped the ball on that. Hopefully we never have to go through that stuff again. With the floods and these hurricanes and earthquakes and fires. But, there's always something, and just hope we can always keep it, to a minimum and mitigate it sooner than later.
Yep.
It just sucks.
But to kind of lighten it back up, it was cool going to that place, going and seeing a lot of people. My kids, like my daughter, whenever he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, it was 2008 when that happened. That was just as he had termed out. He could no longer run for office. He could run he was a representative. He could have ran for Senate. He did not. Glad that he didn't. But my daughter was only 5 when that happened. She kind of remembers a little bit, but doesn't remember much. My son has no clue. Like, he's never lived through that political life that kind of I grew up in it and all of that. So it was just neat for them to see and for me to see all of these people, because whenever I was there in 2008, I mean, that was 16 years ago. A lot of people have been added to the Louisiana Political Hall of Fame since then. A lot of people that I knew growing up, a lot of people that were important when I was a kid and stuff, a lot of stories that came.
Brantley, you know what's funny here, and I promise you I'm not trying to say this about you here, but I mean, minus the crack and the cocaine and everything, from just the attitude perspective, you're kind of the Hunter Biden of that whole situation, though. You know what I mean? Like
I really am.
When I met you, when you popping buttons off your shirt, periodically, like, why is this guy buttoning his shirt in front of me? If you go way back and listen to that show, like when he just sit there, I've just met him, he's just popping buttons off his shirt. You're the son of a politician, and you're, like I said, you're more the Hunter Biden type deal, like minus the crack. Cocaine and drugs,
and the millions of dollars. There's also minus that, and minus the fact that my dad is a straight arrow, shoots it straight, nothing like that, and one of the least wealthiest of all of the legislators in the time. So beyond that. But from an aspect of I was a little crazy and pushed
Tiggy Wiggy like the Boogie Woogie.
My name's Tiggs. Tiggy Wiggy. Tiggy Wiggy Wiggy. Can't you see? Sometimes the Tiggs likes to hypnotize me. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's effing go.
I hypnotize myself. Don't make this come out, boys. I ain't drinking. I'm on no sauce. Unfortunate.
Let's get him calm. Let's get calmed down. Let's get Blasey fired back up. Blasey, I need to run down what's been happening in Bubba's world. I don't know if we've talked since President Trump was found guilty on those charges. I know, but I've watched Bubba some on X this week, but I haven't. I've been slammed with work and travel. I'll tell a little bit on that later. But I have been really out of the loop since about last Thursday. We haven't talked either. What's going on in Bubba's world? What's on fire? Who got fired? Who's on the naughty list? Who's on the nice list this week?
So we still got everybody on there. Now, Bubba did. I think he really he made Alex Stein a little angry. That's your
boy, huh? And that's your boy, huh? This is the drama I tune in for every week.
It is. He failed to put Stein over in a time when he should have put him over. He had a guest on there. Eric Andre, the comedian guy.
Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah. And so he was on there, and then Bubba's just rolling. Not to Bubba's credit, they'd been going. They were probably over. He'd already said he was up against the time, but he had Eric Andre on there. Eric Andre's coming to Tampa this Friday night to do stand-up comedy. He does these interviews. You can go YouTube and check him out. He does these interviews with people. And he screws with people. Like it's almost like a roast of somebody. He says, "I want to interview you. You better watch out. Some dude may pop out of a desk. His desk may explode. Something may come out of the ceiling. Like it is. Like you better watch out. It's going to get a little different for you. You just better stay in it." So he says, "Hey, he's doing stand up, and I want to interview you 8:45 to 9:00 down in Tampa. I want you to come join my comedy show, and I want to interview you. And so Bubba's all in. He's doing it. So he's interviewing him, helping put him over for coming down to Tampa, help him sell a show out. And he mentioned, he was like, back in the day, Eric, he said, I used to have Tucker Carlson on here all the time. Now I got this other guy comes in, but he was just kind of rolling. He wasn't trying to, he was trying to keep moving.
He called
Alex. I think so. You know what? If I'm wrong, I think he said other guy. I'm not, but he was like, other people.
He didn't give quite enough verbal love to.
He didn't give any verbal love, but he was trying to move through, but he wasn't directed against Bubba. It was just, or against Alex, but he just kind of kept rolling just because Tucker's just a big name. But Eric Andre, kind of what Stein do, are kind of similar, even though they're just different worlds. They like to screw with people, a little bit shock value and stuff like that.
Yep.
But Stein literally came into the chat. I was watching the chat when it happened. And he did a super chat, which is like $1.99 just to get their attention. And he was just like, "Put me over, Bubba. Put me over." Well, Bubba's just rolling with the interview. And he didn't do anything. Nobody wants to interrupt Bubba. And then Bubba got caught up into the damn Hogan deal because he says to Eric Andre something. He was like, "Oh, yeah." He said, "I remember the Hogan deal." He said, "That's where you were filming Hogan and you were filming Hogan so you could give that to Gawker." And he was, dude, that just set Bubba off, right? Because that's what everybody thinks.
I bet.
Dude, the show flipped on top of its head. Like, it turned into Bubba going back through and breaking down how he did not give this film to Gawker. He did not distribute this thing. It was, stolen.
I've completely missed this somehow.
Wow. Oh, my God. He goes into a full rant. But it's the same time. Now, Stein's trying to get his attention right when this starts. Literally, as this starts, Stein's trying to get his attention. Like Bubba.
He's like,
"Put me over, buddy."
Bubba,
he's coming in. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Bubba's in full rant. Nobody there's going to interrupt him.
He's not paying attention to the damn.
No, I don't think Bubba doesn't really read the chat anyhow, does he? Isn't that really
no, especially not when he's on full. You're getting all full, hot and worked up on this damn deal. He told him he thought he was. He even did his hand like this, reeling it. He said, "Yeah, you were filming You were filming just
Oh,
for
he just
Gawker.
He
was
dug
filming for
in.
Gawker. He
Just
said, I thought
dug
it was a
it in.
stunt. Yeah, he said, I thought it
Camera
was a stunt.
provided by Gawker.
Yes, Gawker sent him the camera, and then Bubba did the filming. Yeah, he was just. I mean, he's just spinning out, and they finally had to kind of pull him back in. They finished the interview with him, kind of.
Wow.
Well, I did see something where it led over. I was listening to Bubba yesterday maybe, and they had some kind of a Japanese anime kind of deal with wrestling, and it was
That was
like
so
it
bizarre. That was so
it was
bizarre.
one of the There's a cartoon that was made in Japan, apparently, JR, of the Bubba sex tape saga with Hulk Hogan, and it's Bubba's just
Anime.
a big heart.
Yeah, Bubba's just a big heart with legs walking around.
Looks like
It's
a
all-
Valentine candy. One of those things. Like it's
it.
just, insane.
Oh yeah, totally insane. So yeah, so Alex is, Alex is still. It's fine. I think they're gonna be good. It's just funny. Alex is a little bit like, really? I put you over everywhere I go. Everybody that comes in, every guest that comes on, I always put you over. You hadn't put me over. Why can't you put me over? Alex is a little frustrated. I totally get it. You know what I mean? But they're
Alex just
fine.
I think Alex wants
now
Eric Andre
Bubba
on his show
to make it up. He just wants to get in that same circle, right? That's all. It's all a community.
Yeah.
And so I think he's coming back on this week. Today's Wednesday. It should be tomorrow, Friday. Oh, Bubba. Immediately when they told Bubba after Eric left, it told him what his concern was. Oh, he's pissed. He'd already called Lummy, I think. It's like, why didn't you put me over? He's like, oh my God. Bubba really, because typically Bubba would have gone Bubba, be like, what's he mean? I've helped that guy out. You know what I mean? I'm bigger than who I am. I'm Bubba. He didn't do all that. Now, Bubba just immediately was like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't believe I didn't do that. I was just caught up. I was up against the clock. I was trying to get through something. I wanted to get the story. He started talking about Hogan, and I had to tell him about that.
That's his
I
trigger.
mean, he went on. He's like, when he comes back on next week, he said, I'm going to put you over so big. He was like, dude, I'm going to, put you way over next week. So I think when he comes back on, it'll end up working out in the long run better for Alex because he's going to put him way, way over.
Yeah.
So
And Bubba won't forget to make sure next time to mention. Well, I get it. I mean, it's totally. I get it. I know Alex wanted the love there, but Bubba was in the heat of the battle on a surprise attack interview. So I mean,
He
a
was.
kamikaze interview. So I mean,
he didn't expect that Gawker thing. That Gawker thing flipped his lid.
Oh, that triggers him. It's awesome.
God.
It's awesome, man. They were talking last week. He gets triggered apparently with emails occasionally, and he tweeted out this email. This dude was just some jackass, whatever. But his name was Rusty Shackelford. And I can't believe I heard that, and no one in the room, I don't know if they're afraid to correct him or if they didn't know. Rusty Shackelford was Dale Gribble from King of the Hill. You can't take an email seriously from some jackass named Rusty I'm Rusty Shackelford, and I don't think that you're really here, Bubba. You can't trust Rusty fucking Shackelford, bro.
Don't read the comments.
I thought that
Bubba.
was
Don't read the
hilarious to me.
comments. That is so funny.
Oh, yeah,
my
but
God.
I love a great deal just as much as the next guy, but I'm not going to crawl through a bed of hot coals or go out of my way just to save a few bucks. And if I am, man, it's got to be easy. No hoops, no BS. So when Mint Mobile says it's easy to get wireless for $15 a month with the purchase of a 3-month plan, I'm going to call them out on it. Turns out, it's really that easy. It's that easy to get wireless for $15 a month. The longest part of the process was the time I spent on hold waiting to break up with my old provider. That's a nightmare. Wish everything was as easy as Mint. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk-to-text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your old phone number with you, along with all of your existing contacts. To get this new customer offer with your 3-month premium wireless plan for only $15 a month, you must go to mintmobile.com/Bubba. That's mintmobile.com/BUBBA. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Bubba. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower on 40 gigabytes on unlimited plans. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
I think that's one of my favorite things is when Bubba gets a little hot, gets a little triggered, and he just gets one lane focused, and he just gets so quick too. He's 90-0, just jolly go lucky, and then all of a sudden is ready to whip some ass. It's awesome. I love it.
Oh, it was so good. He was so fired up on that. But that was an awful email. I get it, but
Yeah.
this is just a fraudulent
It's a
deal.
bot.
Just a bot. It's a bot.
It's a bot. It's a Russian bot.
That's
It's some
right.
BS.
Yes,
it's some
man.
AI Russian bot BS.
Bots
Oh,
going
shit,
after
some
everybody.
crap.
You know, I've had bots
They-
come after me. We got bots come after us. You know what I mean?
We do. There's
you just
bots
gotta
on
ignore
our
it.
deal, whatever. Yeah.
Hey,
it's just-
I tell you
it
who was
appears.
not a bot, and I mentioned this. We were talking about X earlier. Blasey has had some great content earlier, and he found something last week that I thought was super cool that I didn't even know about. Was the wrestler in Troy at the turn of the century? Who,
Unbelievable.
People think of wrestling is big now. They think of wrestling big with Hulk Hogan, and even before that, the AWA and Fritz and all that stuff. But man, wrestling was so big way back in the day. It was before there was pro football. Wrestling was there with boxing, with everything. It was so big and such a big sport. Blasey found, I don't even know where did you maybe it was a Troy thing. and
Yeah,
you
so
shared
guy
it.
named, I'll tell you, Josh Boutwell. He writes for Troy and Troy Messenger, and Josh Boutwell's the one that put this article together and put it in Troy Messenger. He released unbelievable piece, man. Great piece of work there. Like, I couldn't believe what I was reading. You going back to what was this, 1910? You know, this
1907,
Japanese,
1910, this Japanese wrestler.
Japanese wrestler, and like
Holds up at Troy, Alabama, of all places.
Yes.
And then they have these huge matches, and that's about the time they started turning it into a work instead of just a shoot. So
Yeah.
people
just
went
wild.
to jail.
People went to jail.
Because they found out they had worked on a match and predetermined who was going to win.
They
They
went to
arrested
jail.
the sheriff. Arrested both of them, like in a real.
And the
damn.
promoter and everybody else, and made them leave the state, could never come back to the state again, that kind of stuff. Wow. Y'all check
Wow.
Blasey's Twitter out and go back and
Yeah.
look at that and look at that article, because that was
It's a great
cool.
article.
And I had to get that in there. You were talking about your Troy hat, and then we'd mentioned wrestling stuff, and I had to
Yeah,
drop
dude,
that
I
in
missed
there.
that. I've got to go back and read that
Dude,
myself.
it is
Wow.
a wild story. Yes, it is.
I mean,
yeah, it is.
wow.
This is crazy wrestler that was from Japan, ended up in Troy, was a shooter, could handle everybody, and I mean, he had the Boutwell had done his research too and found traced him where he had traveled to work different places in the country, and like I said, we're talking about the early 19-teens.
Yes.
And single.
And he was a phenom. He was a phenom. They were
Phenom.
just known for these unbelievable matches. And then one time he threw that match. That's why
They would wrestle That wasn't one they wrestled 6-8 hours or something, and they had to stop and come back and finish wrestling the next day. I mean, just crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Wrestled multiple times, 4 and 5, 6 hours and stuff, multiple
Good
times
Lord.
to a draw,
It's
and
just-
not fake, and not holding out and rest spots and any of that. I'm talking about these dudes fought for 6 hours till the fans finally were like, they're just holding each other, stop, let them rest so they can fight again tomorrow.
Those older folks that go back there, and this is before then even, but like my grandmother's mother and my papa's mother, they would watch, and I remember them vaguely, very, very little when I was a kid, 'cause I'm the baby of the whole family, but you didn't mess with them on Saturdays. They watched their wrestling. That was
yeah.
they're gonna watch their wrestling, and it was a sin though. That was a sin, and
Yeah.
they hid the fact that they
Right.
watched the wrestling,
Right.
but
But they liked it.
I think they loved it.
They
And I
loved
think
it.
I think they thought it was real too. Like they would have been
yeah.
pissed if they would have known
they
this was
presented
all
it that
work.
way. And it was because even up to the point, like I said, back they'd have Babe Ruth, they'd have Gorgeous George there with him on the main thing for the New Year's parade of 1920 whatever. I mean, the star in wrestling was held as high as any other athlete in the world at the time. It's wild.
Yep.
Hey, and speaking of world class,
Hey, hold on.
wrestlers-
Hold
Go
on
ahead.
before you go through that, and because I know what you're getting to. I just looked it up real quick. If you want to check out Josh Boutwell's article, it is at Josh Messenger on X. Go check that out. I posted it, but Josh Boutwell is the guy who did that at Troy, and he's the one that released that whole crazy thing. So if you want to get that, dive into it. It'll be some good stuff. So,
Yeah.
and JR, you're bringing up something I had top of my notes, of my 2 notes, what you're about to talk about. So I want you to proceed, sir.
Well, I know we've been talking about because I've been busy on the road, and you guys got to come to some shows last week. I figured every week we talk about where I've been, where I'm going, real quick.
Yes.
Heck
This
yeah.
past weekend had terrible travel getting out there. Had shows in Napa, California last Friday night, and Gardnerville, Nevada last Saturday night. So we leave on Thursday to go out there. Planes, all the flights get canceled because of storms in Dallas. So I end up in Atlanta, stay the night, get up the next day and fly. Brutal. Justin's stuck in Dallas. Nathan's with me in Atlanta. Terrible.
Oh, damn.
Get to Napa, beautiful place up in Napa. We played. It was a great show. Got to see my buddy Mater. Shout out to my boy Mater, who just became one of only 13 OS Master Chiefs in the United States Coast Guard. Want to give him a big congratulations.
Oh,
Wow, that's awesome.
Congratulations and thank
Heck
you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Wow,
We're gonna
that's
have
huge.
We're gonna have him on here to talk at some point. Maybe do it on here or maybe on the TV show because he's been all over. He's been in the Keys in the Coast Guard. He was in Alaska Station twice. Now he's up in northern hour north of San Francisco at a training facility there for the Coast Guard. But he's from my hometown. He graduated the year before me. He's still pissed at me because I blindsided him in high school football on practice. I used to blindside him when we'd come back from the water trough, so he's still hot about that. But anyway, got to see him. Got to see my buddy Dubin while we were there. That was cool. So we did the show in Napa. Then the next day we go to Gardnerville, Nevada to do a show. It's a country festival there, kind of like the one you came to, Tiggs and Denham Springs. Well, that day I knew beforehand a friend of ours that works for Justin's management. He's from there. His grandparents are from there. He's from right in Yerington, which is the valley over. Nevada's set up in valleys. This was basically next to Carson Valley is where the concert was, which is Carson City, which is where Bonanza was set and all that. This is that real Nevada, that part, right near Lake Tahoe. So it's got greenery, it's got water and stuff. It was wild. But their new neighbor to his grandparents as of a few years ago is arguably the greatest wrestler of all time, Mr. Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Stone Cold has become friends with my friend Cody's dad because grandpa passed away a few years ago, unfortunately. But has become friends with their dad just every day doing stuff on the ranch because he's got land there. They've got land. They do this. Somebody there leases their land to work it with cattle and for the feed and stuff. But they see each other at the ranch store and in the grocery store and things like that. So anyway, we invited Stone Cold over and he showed up. So we got to hang out with Stone Cold for about an hour in the driveway.
Dude.
I drank a few Broken Skull American lagers and we got to chop it up for a while. He was great. Everything you could think of. Just exactly as you would think. And he talked, sounded, looked, acted the same way he does on his TV shows and things. So it was great. It was his hands, y'all. I'm telling you, it was like I have kind of small hands, but his hands are huge. I mean, they were the biggest, meatiest, like he just crushed rocks for a living. Fingers, hands so big. Arms, Blasey, and I'm talking about hose pipes for veins too, buddy. If you'd have nicked him, he'd have bled out. He was still jacked. He's still a gorilla.
I saw that picture.
He came in on a four-wheeler.
He looked fantastic.
It was like a big gorilla riding a four-wheeler. That's exactly right. He pulled up.
That's exactly what he is.
He could have taken that thing and put it on his back like a backpack and just walked up y'all. Yeah.
Yes, just what Justin said. He's like, that's like the biggest four-wheeler you get. He makes it look tiny. You know, but I'll just say this too: he couldn't have been cooler, couldn't have been nicer. He was great. I mean,
he drank some beer with you. Yeah, he kicked one back too.
He didn't during that time. It was early in the day. I can't remember what he said. He had jokes for everything. It's even like the show. What time you boys played? 9 o'clock. Oh, he's like, that's a little late for me these days. I'm in bed by 7:30. But we talked a little bit about everything, and it was just great. The connection there with a friend of the show, Mr. Diamond Dallas Page. We talked about that. He had some great DDP stories. He tells the story of the first time he went to Los Angeles to try a hand at the acting thing. He lived on DDP's couch for 6 months or so, and said even back then, Dallas was working on the DDPY, the early version of that, which was called Yoga for Regular Guys.
Yep.
And he said he'd be in there doing that and stuff, and Steve would be like, "What the hell are you doing?" And he'd tell me, he's like, "Man, guys don't do yoga." And he said, "Now that's his thing," So, but he was been working on it since then, and that was 20 years ago. And he also said when they used to ride the roads, it'd be he, Dallas, and Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, and they would ride the roads together, and said Dallas would always show up and get in the car and have all the ice packs all over him, strapped to his knees, his ankle, his elbows, his neck, and everything, and they'd always be like, whatever, and just drink some beer. And he basically said, he was ahead of the curve.
Yeah, he's way ahead of the curve.
He was. He was way ahead of the curve.
And look at him now. He's like, here I am. I'm going to revive all you boys that are hurting a little bit. That's cool, dude. That's
big country music fan. We talked a lot about country music. We talked about out there. He loves it. He liked Texas. It was just a long ways away. His wife is from Los Angeles, so they bought the land there, and then they just fell in love with that part of Nevada now. And it's Nevada too. I didn't learn this until I met a friend from out there. I called it Nevada my whole life, but it's Nevada. Is how
Nevada?
the people that live there actually pronounce it's Nevada.
Nevada.
Yeah.
I've always called
Steve
it Nevada
said
that
too. I told my buddy Cody when he
southern thing.
first started correcting me and Justin, I'm like, sorry, buddy, it's going to take us a minute. We've been calling it Nevada our whole lives.
Yeah.
When we don't mention it much, when we do, that's what we call it. But we'll dial it in.
Oh yeah, I remember I was out there and I said, I'll take a Sierra Nevada, and they were like, you mean Nevada? Like I was ordering beer. Right. I was like, and I knew right then, like I never say that again as long as I live, because they looked at me like I was an idiot.
I think I will continue to say it whenever I'm out in Vegas next time. I'm going to continue just to try to stir the pot.
Well, they don't. The rest of Nevada doesn't claim Las Vegas. Nevada doesn't claim Las Vegas.
Yeah,
but Steve said, and of course, you know me, I had to introduce myself as, "How you doing, Mr. Williams?" I had to call him by his birth name. You know, I keep him straight.
Sure you did. Yeah, you did.
And he liked the fact that I use the wrestling jargon stuff still. He got a kick out of that. I said, dude, I hang out with Dallas all the time. I mean, that's how he taught. It rubbed off with a bunch of us. It's just kind of everybody's a smart mark these days, kind of thing.
Smart mark. A smart mark. That's so
you
good.
know what I mean?
Yeah, you hit it right there on the head, didn't you?
Yeah, but he said at the end, though, he said, I'm going to die in Nevada. He loves it out there. He rides. He's actually got a team up. He does some racing, some side-by-sides and buggies and stuff. He does cool. Out there.
He filmed some of his shows and stuff out there, too, on his ranch. I'm assuming that's right there close to. I mean, it looked like where you had the video, and it's out there, too.
The stuff for, like, the Broken Skull Challenge and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah,
no, that was in California. That was all set stuff out.
It all looks similar, though.
It is similar.
That looks super rural. That looks like super rural.
Like
Is it just?
There.
It's like a little small grocery store, I assume, like down the road.
Tiny, dude. That pictures I sent y'all of the oldest. I sent y'all a picture of. I had a beer or I had a drink at the oldest bar in Nevada that was founded in 1853.
Wow,
that's crazy.
They don't have hurricanes.
That's gotta be one of
they
the
don't have
oldest
humidity
bars in America.
Right, still standing like nothing changed. But think about it, too. You know how they always say cars are good if they come from out west because they don't have humidity and they don't have hurricanes and rain all the time, so stuff lasts, But, the little restaurants and everything, tiny little town. And where Steve lives out there near my friend's grandparents, grandmother still lives there, and Dad and them live the valley over and things. I mean, there's just it's a few houses on a county road, I mean, it's out in the country. I mean, it's impossible to find. It's just the middle of nowhere out in the country in Nevada, But beautiful scenery behind you. Then, you're in these meadows, like the angle you're looking at, but then behind me is this 11,000-foot mountain, right there.
Yeah.
And Cody said growing up, they would go up and down it in a day and things like that. And I'm just like, wow.
That's
cool. It was a once in a lifetime opportunity, for me, someone who grew up loving wrestling and being a big Stone Cold fan, because I loved his gimmick when he went Stone Cold. I was a big fan of him before that in the Hollywood Blondes when he was in the Dangerous Alliance. I always liked Steve Williams when he was wrestling, even before the Stone Cold. But knowing and I made this comment to him. I love his movies. He mentions the movie thing. He hated some parts of it, but liked some of it. And I said, dude, I love those B movies you made, the rough and tough, when I shoot,
awesome.
I shoot to kill. They're all just full of one-liners. All he does is a one-liner over and over, but they're great.
Yes.
They're great.
Hell
I said, dude, there was this one movie, man, you were up in Canada and you had to avenge your daughter. You're trying to save your daughter. And, dude, them bad guys kicked your ass up and down that mountain all movie for an hour and a half, and you never quit coming back, buddy. You get up, you climb up. Just when we thought you were not going to make it, buddy, you'd crawl. There'd be your hand. You'd crawl up that mountain one last time and kick everybody's ass one more again, But I told him, for me now, especially that we're working on becoming world-class podcasters ourselves.
Yes, we are.
Stone Cold Steve Austin is the biggest podcast influence for me by far. I love Rogan. I like a lot of other ones, but I listen to Stone Cold and Stone Cold's podcast and Jim Ross's podcast more than anybody, and I feel like I took more and love the way Steve did his podcast for those years, the Unleashed podcast. And I told him that. I said, your podcast was absolutely gold. I mean, it was just great.
Yeah.
He's a great interview. He's a great talker. He had great guests. And just his relatability was so good. I really loved his podcast. And, for me, that I told him that. And Blasey, you may know this, one of my dearest friends who's not in this world with us anymore, but the first guy I ever worked for in the music business, Wayne Mills, he and Steve have a similar dialect. They have a similar accent. So a lot of times when I used to listen to the Stone Cold podcast, I think it was Wayne talking half the time.
Oh,
and it was
that's
because Wayne had family from Texas, and the way they would BS about
talked
certain
a
things,
lot,
man, they talk. If they were together, they would sound like brothers talking.
It's that
to
same
each other.
delivery. Yeah.
The same kind of deal. But Steve's podcast was great, and I try to take away as much as I can. I'm doing a terrible job at it, but I got to tell him that. So for me, that was as awesome as anything.
Time out. JR, I got to stop you. Stop you. Okay. Dude, it's unbelievable experience. I can't imagine being in your shoes. You sound like, that sounds like the coolest, greatest time. Did you ever put Tiggs bits over, though? Speaking of Alex Stein and the Bubba deal, did you tell him that you do a podcast now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
He
wasn't impressed.
I didn't go into the –
You didn't mention us? You didn't mention our names?
I didn't mention the whole.
So you're basically the
connection.
Bubba the Love Sponge of this whole situation right now.
Well,
same guy.
different.
Same guy.
Yeah.
You got excited. You're out there
I
hanging
didn't
out,
get
drinking.
excited.
You're
I
drinking
was
his
very
beer.
poised. Y'all have
You
been
were
impressed.
poised, but
Oh,
you
yeah.
stayed so focused on you in the moment that you forgot about us.
This is what happened. You Eric Andre'd us.
No,
You really did.
Bubba already knew Eric Andre. I didn't know Steve Austin. You have to do a break the ice. You have to get the relationship.
That's true, that's
built
true.
enough to-
Steve
I can't-
certainly doesn't know us.
I can't go in. I can't go. He didn't call me. I can't go in asking him and telling him things till you got to get your feet
gotta
wet
build the
first, baby step.
relationship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's
I mean,
all
I
it
had-
was about. We were just trying
We'll
to make
get
sure he
DDP
didn't think.
to work on
know.
it.
We were trying to make sure he doesn't think we were nerds. So when we come over there again, he'll come visit. We're just
I
like
know.
breaking the
You're
ice
playing
thing.
cool. I'm kidding with you, buddy.
no,
I'm kidding with you. I'm just messing with you here, but I just kind of messed up. But
Yeah.
anyway, we'll just move on from that. That is freaking, dude. That's super. That's actually super dang cool.
It is cool. It is
Yeah.
really cool.
What's
man.
super cool is how you
He's
sent
my
us a
favorite.
video and you said, "Hey, I'm hanging out here in this my buddy's ranch, and over my shoulder, Stone Cold Steve Austin lives over there." Man, you never know. I might get to meet him later on. About an hour later, here's a picture of you
Bam.
and Steve Austin standing there. I was like, "Shocker of the year." Yeah, like you said, that dude is jacked still, man. You know, like
Dude,
he
he
is.
looks so good.
And you can tell he's we're none of us are spring chickens, and a lot of wear and tear on his body. But I mean, just a grizzled old vet. I mean, just a old warrior still.
yeah.
Oh, still
Did
thick.
you mention WrestleMania by chance to him, and if he was potentially thought about popping in? Did that ever come up? Gotta ask.
I think we did mention some stuff about that, and he's good. He don't want to go do nothing. He don't want to leave.
That's
his,
what I've heard. That
his
he's kind of
house.
But
But you got to think this
it
too,
ain't
guys.
about
I
the
wasn't.
money. He's done wrestling,
No.
is what he
Yeah.
said. Like he's
Right.
done.
Yeah, and like I said too, you got to remember this too. It wasn't a one-on-one. I had 2 or 3 other people with me, so I
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
dominate the convo. But it was a great breaking the ice type thing.
I guess we'll let it go this time. Maybe.
But no, when we did ask him about that kind of stuff, he's just like he doesn't mind doing it if it works right, but he's happy and content out there where he's at. He's got a great. I get it. Being there, I'm like shit. I would too. I wouldn't. Hell, I don't want to leave my house.
A place I wouldn't want to leave.
Yeah.
At all.
For sure.
His tank's
great.
full. He's
There's a
done
lot of-
everything from a personal standpoint. He's got plenty of money in the bank. Like now, he's just out there just enjoying himself.
And
Like,
those
that's-
shows,
so
those
cool.
shows like you mentioned, Tiggs. I mean, the B movies that we talked about, they're on all the platforms to watch. So I'm sure he's getting some stream or some royalties off that.
Oh, yeah.
But then also all those CMT shows, Broken Skull, Redneck Island, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because
They're
Redneck
great.
Island was the one our boy Riley Green was on prior to becoming a country star.
Yep, that's right.
But those shows are in syndication. There's a channel on some streaming. You can watch that any time of the day. Those shows, so that's got to be some form of kickback. So yeah, I don't think he's needing it. But hell, he looks like he could still go.
He
it's like
does.
it's like when I told y'all we
I know he
met.
could.
And I wish we'd have worked it out this time. It was almost going to get to run into Ricky Henderson again, but the travel thing messed up. We didn't get
And
it early,
today, I am the greatest ever.
dude, when the time I met Ricky Henderson, that was only like a year ago maybe. Ricky Henderson looks like he could still go steal 40 bases in the in Major League Baseball right now. He's still just jacked.
You said he's fun to talk to.
Oh, like God, yeah, he'll ham it up with you too. Ricky likes talking about Ricky. Oh,
Ricky
yeah.
likes Ricky, don't he?
Yeah, and he'll get into baseball. He'll talk nuts. And Justin was sitting there, asked him about, so you got this and a two-seamer on this pitch and this now. You go there. What are you looking for here? And they're just, I mean, they're nuts and bolting baseball, and Justin's just loving it, and Ricky's love giving it, and yeah, he's got that big old good smile. You know, Ricky Henderson was great, but yeah, you know, and I get it why a lot of those guys live out that way now because the weather is great. I flew into San Francisco. Weather's great. I mean, the town looks like crap.
Yeah.
You know,
not hot.
It's got its problems, but man, the weather's nice. I get it why people live there. I'm always like, Cali sucks now because people ruined it, but damn, the weather's still nice.
Oh, you get up there in wine country still though. It's nice, dude. You get up in Napa and Sonoma. I love Sonoma. Sonoma's my spot, dude.
It gets cool at night still.
Ooh, so cool out there.
And over there in Nevada was the same way. And then they got Lake Tahoe right there. I mean, Cody said in the winter, because I'm always like, man, I ain't dealing with no snow. I ain't trying to shovel it. I ain't trying to do nothing with no snow. And he said up there it's warm enough where you really get it, and it lasts for 2 or 3 days, and it disappears. It's not like certain places where the snow stays for months at a time.
For 2 weeks.
He said you'll get a bad one, but it doesn't last for weeks and weeks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's just beautiful up there. So, yeah, if you ever get a chance to get out that way, Reno, Lake Tahoe area, Napa, go tell us what you think about it. And I thought it was great weather. The people were nice. Food was good. Bars were good.
Telly Savalas country out there.
Yeah. But
players card. Get your players card.
And you never know. You might run
Las
into Stone
Vegas.
Cold Steve Austin. You never know.
You may. Yeah.
Hey, I'm all right. We've done a whole show here.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you. I'm about pissed with both of y'all right now.
Why? What's up with that?
You know, I mean, I'm honestly being serious.
Like, it's your birthday and we didn't say anything about your birthday?
Oh,
You're damn right it is. I got some serious heat news. My damn birthday is it's Friday, dude. But
it ain't your birthday yet, bitch.
Hey, listen here, you two assholes.
We're too damn old for birthdays, too, by the way.
I know. Honestly, I could care less. But I am pissed
off.
off.
It's a damn surprise of us singing you out to end the show, so never mind with that.
No.
Never mind Taylor Swift. Go back home. He doesn't want you to sing the song today.
Taylor Swift's
Come back,
out.
Cardi B.
Cardi B.
Oh, I mean, Carrie Underwood. Carrie Underwood, y'all's
Carrie
boy
Underwood's
set it up.
definitely here. Yeah, you did set it up. Yeah, she told me that you were going to do this, actually.
That guy, the guy,
did you
y'all's
hear from
buddy.
Hootie
set it up.
Hootie came back on this week. Good God. He still believes it. They had him on the other morning.
What's he saying? They asked him about it again. He's still all about it.
He's funny. He started laughing about it, like he's making fun of himself, but then he wasn't. Then he freaking got off. It's like
That dude's
somebody
got
said
mental
on there.
problems. That dude's got mental problems.
It started off as a work,
and
it turned into a full shoot. You know what I mean? Like, he cannot figure out what the hell. I mean, he's full dialed in on it. He believes it fully. But listen, I put something on Twitter the other day. Neither one of y'all responded. Y'all didn't see that thing that Amanda gave me? Those Africans that wished me happy birthday?
Oh, yeah.
I briefly saw. I couldn't see much of it because I was in. I saw it. I was in Florine. It was terrible.
How do you briefly see a tweet?
It played. The video played for 3 seconds and then froze. The pixels look like you do now and every time we do this podcast. So,
you've looked like garbage tonight too, though. So just full transparency.
Yeah, exactly. So I have not completed watching it. I will go watch it tonight, though. I saw the beginning.
Like 3 views.
It looked like a bunch of men dancing in pink shit, and I don't know what's up with it.
It's a bunch of African men dancing in pink shit, wishing me a happy birthday with my face on a piece of paper, kissing it.
Oh, well,
they really did this.
That wasn't AI.
It was not AI. That's an African tribe that actually.
Yeah, I thought y'all
superimposed
something. I think somebody superimposed something on that.
No, it's
I think
totally
they have
real.
A generic thing. It's generic.
Fully real. Amanda even gave them the script. Happy birthday, Chad Blasey. Keep it safe. No, you can see they're saying it.
It looks like somebody took. It looks like those things where they changed the piece of poster board for the guy sitting out selling stuff.
Oh my God! But if you see the paper keeps bending and my face keeps bending, I mean that'd be some great AI.
Is this done through Cameo?
It's a Cameo deal. Yeah,
they got GP5.
She spent $400,000. I mean, $40 on doing
$400,000. I think you and your boy Hootie might need to get the same therapist, and we'll get y'all tandem visits starting about yesterday.
I'm just you and your boy Hootie.
Off the rails.
You know what's crazy?
Your girl's spending $400,000 to get an entire African
$40.
tribe to worship a picture of you on AI Skype internet. Come on,
you misheard me. You must have misremembered what I said. What's his name said? What was the picture that said that? Roger Clemens. You must have misremembered. I misremembered.
He said, "Shame on me once, shame on you twice."
Never be
fooled again. Days. You know what? Happy birthday to me, motherfuckers. You know.
Happy damn birthday, Lacey. How old are you now? 54, 55?
68.
68 years old.
You look great for 70. Everybody behind you at props is going nuts right now.
They are losing their ever-loving minds back there, sir. Sir, get that guy to sit his ass down back there.
Security.
This is insane.
Grant, stay in your seat. All right.
We need some more barricade security.
I had to control Grant there a little bit.
Wow.
Well, it sounds like we got a party coming up, so that's good. I've got a feeling we're going to have content from stuff this weekend, fully expecting
We'll get something. Yeah, I know the party was kind of yesterday when we went fishing. That's another story. But, we went fishing, and we had a pool party. That was so good. Actually, the owner of Props invited me fishing, and the GM, Joe, we call him GM Joe, went with us, and his wife's nephew went with us. It's us four. We had a blast, man.
All I saw was 3 hot-ass women wearing Tiggs bit shirts.
Of course you did.
Y'all ain't seen that. I mean, I did see that, Blasey. I did see that tweet. I saw it well.
That's as we hung out. We brought that fresh snapper back to his house. We cleaned it. We cooked it for lunch, and then we had a pool party by the pool, and they cut up 2 Tiggs bit shirts. Put them on, and then GM. So that's actually. We got Nate's wife, we got Joe's wife, and we got Amanda in that picture. So.
Look, so would they be considered Tig wigs?
I think they're. Ooh, what do the women call? What do we call it? They're Tiggs wigs, right?
Have we announced?
Yep,
it's official.
As of today,
Twitter?
It's official. I made it official with. I gave a shout out to some of our top supporters on Facebook, and thanked them for being the Tiggs wigs that they are.
Wigs. Those are the hot Tiggs wigs right there.
The big wigs?
Yes, they are. They are our spokesmodels at this point. So, they may be our new profile picture as well. So,
hey, well, thanks. Hey, I saw you give that shout out. Thanks everybody who is certified Tig wig up in this joint because we appreciate y'all. We couldn't do these shows and put all this content out without love and support from listeners and viewers across all these platforms. So legit, straight from the heart. It's a shoot. Thank you all for tuning in and listening when we drop stuff. We appreciate that, no doubt.
100%, man. It really it's amazing all the interactions that we've had since we started this show, especially when we're 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people a week are hearing it. We appreciate every single one of you, the DMs, all the stuff, man. It is crazy. There's so much stuff that I get every day that y'all don't always see because of the show. I try to send it to y'all in our little group text and some of the highlights, but dude, it's constant. It's 24/7. There's a notification for this or that. So it's unbelievable. We used to go for a week and get 5 notifications. Now it's like, what's happened if there aren't 5 in an hour? You know what I mean?
Right.
So unbelievable. Yep. Thank you all.
It is.
It's so much fun.
Very humbling. Very humbling.
Absolutely.
It is.
Well, we're gonna break. We like to break trends here. We start trends and we break trends here. We're gonna break the trend. We are not going to discuss the WNBA today.
Nope. Not today.
And we flew over the top of it. We're not going to discuss court proceedings and things of that nature on this show, but tune in next week and we might. So you never know.
That's exactly right.
And, hey, Skinner don't play Freebird first, and this ain't paying enough to tell all the juicy stuff yet. We'll get to all that. And we do a live show too. I want everybody to remind y'all, check on the socials, Tiggs Bits, JR the Handler, SB Trojan. Check out when we do this every week, and Tiggy will give a shout out ahead of time, letting you know when we're going to drop the live show. But y'all jump in and join us on that. That's a fun forum for us to chop it up, and we'll drag stuff off that and use it for posts and use it for different things. So any of y'all that enjoy the podcast on the Bubba exclusive podcast here on the Bubba Radio Army Network, Make sure to come to our live show on YouTube, usually on Wednesday nights. Sometimes I think we're going to do it Thursday night this week. Usually Wednesday or Thursday night. We go on for an hour or two, and it could be all of us, could be one of us, could be some guests. Who knows? We've had junior correspondents. We've had
people just
aliens.
pop in.
We've had all kinds of crazy people on there. So
War Crimes on Wednesday. Yeah. That's something coming new that nobody knows about. That's all I'm going to say. War Crimes on Wednesday. We got something special coming.
I know a little bit about it. I know a little bit enough about it to be coming. Like, whoo.
That's going to be special.
You're going to want some of this. Y'all are going to want some of this for sure.
Well, that should be enough. That should be enough teasers to get everybody hopped up and juiced up, like a couple shots of D-ball till next week. So no more exclusive drops and teases this week. But straight
for this week.
But straight shoot stuff. We didn't get to catch up, but it was good to catch up today, boys. You know, Blasey, you were talking about that car. We'll go back to where we started this convo. You talking about you having a random foot elbow indention in the front quarter panel of your vehicle. You know, that reminds me of a story. One time I was checking out of a hotel. I'd been in New Orleans at a Saints game, stayed at that Hyatt right next door. Go to get my car the next day. Valet's already got it out. I go down, I walk around. Huge dent in the back door of my car. It was back before I had a truck. This is when I had that diesel Mercedes long distance car. And I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, what happened here? He's like, I don't know. They pulled it out earlier. And I'm like, wait, nobody knows why there's a big dent. And it looked like a butt imprint. It looked like you were saying, it kind of, in your mind, to me, it looked like somebody had sat into my car real hard, but it was a dent. It wasn't coming out. So I mentioned them. Nobody can figure anything out. We swapped some info with the hotel management. I got to go somewhere, you know. So a week later, or a couple days later, hotel management calls. They go back and look at footage. There was a guy out there, a drunk guy out. They had pulled my car around. Within 10 minutes, there's a drunk guy out there harassing hotel guests as they come out. Police show up, tackle him into my car. So that's where the dent came from. I would have never come up with that. I would have never come up with that on my mind. I'm thinking, man, that guy hit something, you know, or somebody just kicked my car. You know, I'm thinking, or somebody just leaned on it. I would have never, you know, until the footage came out, the police arrested a guy and had to tackle him into my car and handcuff him to keep him from harassing hotel guests.
At least you knew. But that still
and
sucks.
the hotel paid, you know, got it covered because it was under the valet's watch when that went down. But so maybe let's hope for the sake of humanity, someone didn't just do a rude boy and just come kick your car for no apparent reason, or somebody mad at their girlfriend or boyfriend and kick your car on the way out of somewhere. Let's hope it was an accident. They had to go. Maybe they fell and hurt themselves. And they had to go get checked out. They didn't have time to leave a note. Let's just hope something like that
Maybe
happened.
they hit your side mirror with a vehicle slowly grinding down the side of it.
Just ate down the side, because they were just a little off kilter. Their equilibrium
not
got off.
100%.
Yeah, you know what sucks is what?
Or it's that lady pissed at you and her daughter for scamming her out of her pompano a couple months ago.
It could
might
be. It could all go back to the pompano.
You son of a bitch, you know. Like,
damn it.
Where's my pompano?
Could be.
Where's my pompano?
She was in on it with him. He was in on it with her. I'm about to get his ass.
Wow,
that's exactly
I never
what
thought
happened.
about that.
Never know.
You never know.
You just never know.
Well,
boys, are we going? I guess that's enough today to let everybody ponder and worry on. Thanks everybody for tuning in this week. I'm JR the Handler. That's Blossy the One Man Posse. That's Tiggy himself, Mr. Tig Nasty, Tiggs, Brantley Salter in the house.
Happy birthday
the founder of this.
to me.
And no happy birthday for you, Blasey.
Happy
birthday for
to
you,
me, motherfucker.
Nope, you got to wait till
You're
Friday,
58 years old now.
67.
Plus
I hit retirement. Come on, Social Security.
Speaking of LLCs, we'll see y'all next week.